So I'm here with Tracy from New Forest Shortbread, and first of all, congratulations on your award.
Thank you very much.
Could you start us off by telling us how New Forest Shortbread came to be?
So I retired about 10 years ago and live in a beautiful cottage in the middle of the New Forest and became very bored with gardening and walking. I've baked all my life and I've made shortbread for family and friends forever. And somebody suggested I try and sell it. So I went to a local farm shop called Hockey's Farm Shop in the forest and said, would you sell packets of these shortbread? And Laura said, yes, but go away and write a story. So I went away and I wrote a story about a lady who lived in a cottage, who made shortbread, a little bit of history, and they sold really well. And a couple of years later, a hotel came to me and said, would I make shortbread for their rooms? And that developed into packets of shortbread being in guest bedrooms in some of the hotels in the forest. In 2019, I decided that it would be really interesting to tell visitors in these hotel bedrooms a little bit more about the forest. So I designed a box that had images of different things people might see on a walk. And inside the boxes, I wrote little stories about the pigs, why they're out, the horses, who owns them, the trees, why they were planted. And they were well received by the hotels. They thought this was amazing. And then we had COVID. And when we got over COVID, I did a crowdfunding event to promote the business again. And we created bigger boxes. And the bigger boxes still had the images on the outside and the stories on the inside. And we were doing markets and fairs, New Forest Show, things like that. And so we started to do flavours. So we now have the original that won the award. And we have 7 other flavours, which are things like raspberry, lemon, coffee. We work with Mozzo Coffee in Southampton. We work with Lavender Fields in Alsford. We use their lavender. We work with New Forest Tea Company, who blend an Earl Grey specifically for us. So we have quite an interesting collection of flavours.
And in terms of the shortbread itself, the original shortbread, obviously, a much-loved, really traditional snack, isn't it? What makes yours a little bit different? I know you perhaps don't want to give away all your secrets, as it were, but what is a proper shortbread meant to taste like?
Mine. So my shortbread is made just like I make in the kitchen. Yes, we've scaled up, but I've managed to find a way of making it. We make it in a roll, we cut it by hand, we make it as you would in the kitchen. So it's not over-processed, it's not terribly sweet because my recipe doesn't have an overwhelming amount of sugar and they're not dusted in sugar. We use the very best quality butter. I sponsor dairy classes at the local agricultural shows because most of our local dairy herds feed into Arla, who make anchor butter, which is what I use in my shortbread.
And so beyond, obviously, people perhaps finding it in hotels in the area, then seeing you at fairs and events and so forth, you're looking to expand the business and venture out online, aren't you? That's perhaps the next big step.
The next big step is online. We are currently investing in a company called Navigate the Noise to help us to actually get online and show people out there, outside the New Forest, what we have to offer.
And just finally, in terms of, you've got one of them here, one of the packages itself. So you've got those stories, as you were mentioning at the start, all linked on each side, haven't you?
So the images on the outside of the box are of things you might see on a walk in the forest. And then inside the box on the lid, there's my story. And then each of the flaps have little stories about what's on the outside of the box. These tear off, so you can keep them as fridge magnets, pop them in your pocket as a memento, or use them as a bookmark, whatever.
Fantastic. And everything's handmade? Everything
is handmade.
Which is
fantastic. We have a team of ladies, all mums and grannies, and we all do the mixing, the baking, the packing, and they all come and stand on the markets as well. So everybody you meet has actually been involved in the making of the shortbread.
Fantastic. Well, congratulations on your award.
Thank you very much.
And thanks very much for taking time to speak to us today.
A pleasure.
Thank you.
Thank you.